Nashville stars Connie Britton, and her character's name is Raina James, and she is basically a country music star, and her rivalry is played by ay, ay, is played by Hayden Panettiere, and her character's name is Juliet Barnes, and she's like the new young up and comer who has hit the scene, and she's like, she's supposed to be kind of like the Carrie Underwood, and she's a bit of a no, I shouldn't say a bit. She's an absolute diva, and her character really grates on my nerves at times because it's like, really, honey, can you not? Do you not have one redeeming quality in you? Like, the show sometimes goes so over the top with her that like she's not likable. Like, you cannot have somebody be mean all the time and then put in, oh, like this sad sob story about her mom, and then me wanting to really care. Like, no, I don't. And so they did that a lot last season, and I think that they need to be careful because you either paint her as one character, which I don't know why you'd want to blanketly paint her as such an evil character, and then want us to have all this sympathy for her from time to time. It just doesn't really work that way, or at least it doesn't work that way for me. Raina James and Hayden's character, or they're like basically nemesis with one another, and that can become tiresome after a while, but it's tolerable. And then we have Deacon, and Deacon is the guitar player who used to work for Raina James, and back in the day they were once an item and they were a love interest, and that to me was sort of like the central point of this whole show, like waiting to see when these two star-crossed lovers were basically going to get back together. But he's a bit of a hot mess. He's been like a rebel, and he's had all these issues. He's got a drinking problem, so they're almost like doomed, and it was just never going to work. And then midway, 3/4 of the way through the series, we find out that he's actually the father of her oldest daughter. And Raina is married, and she's married with 2 kids, and her husband is, you know, he's a politician. He's a bit of a jerk. He was having an affair, I believe. Like, I mean, it's a nighttime soap. So fine, you throw basically. It's almost like they threw so much out in the first season to see what would stick, and some things did, some things did not. They've got quite a big cast, and I found like that there's a lot of storylines that I just wasn't interested in, or that they were sort of a retelling of what this older version of the story is. So there was a lot of stuff that just kind of sat with me, and I was like just not interested. Anytime that these two characters would come on screen, I was kind of like, what else is going on over here? Like, just wasn't very interested in it. So I'm hoping that in the second season they're going to really tighten these kinds of things up. And so far, we're 3 episodes or 4 episodes in. At the end of last season, Raina got into a car accident with Deacon. Raina was driving, and they were arguing, and I believe it was raining, and the car flipped, and it was a disaster. And then Deacon in the first 2 episodes was in jail, which was like, really, he wasn't driving, so why are we going down this road? It just didn't make any sense. Then it turns out, she wakes up in the hospital and she tells everybody, I was actually driving. Fine. So he's off the hook, but he's still a disaster. His arm has some severe damage. And it's like we're playing out this whole, will Deacon ever get his life back on track? He knows he's the father of Raina's oldest daughter now. So it's like, come on, dude, let's get it together. So we spent this last episode with him still in rehab, going through his or not rehab, sorry, going to AA and all that kind of stuff. And, so it's nice to see that he is getting his life back on track. But where does his storyline go if it's not with Raina? I really don't know. And then we have Juliet's character, who is constantly just like, oh no, this girl can't be better than me. Oh no, this girl can't be better than me. And that is all her character does, like every single episode. So now we have this new up and comer who is basically, like the cover queen. She won some, she won a TV show like a Nashville or like an American Idol where she's this new pop princess and and Julia is just having none of it. And she finally agrees that she's going to have her open up for her so that she can satisfy her label because her label wants Juliet to still be like this tween pop princess, and Juliet's like, no, I'm this evolved singer and I'm a songwriter and I'm so much better than all that now. So, and like her label's just not trying to have any of it. So she thought, okay, well, why don't I just bring this pop princess on and she can keep all the tweeners and I can be all deep and heavy and do all of the stuff that I really want to do. So, you know, again, what is the overall arc of the story that we're trying to tell here on Nashville? I'm not really sure. It just kind of goes episode by episode, and now it looks like Raina's sister's trying to take down her dad. Like, there's just so much going on, and there's so many characters that I just don't care about. But we're 3 or 4 episodes into the second season, and we'll see where it goes. Is it by any means off to a stellar start? No. But I'm gonna hang in there because that's what I do because I'm obsessed with television.